Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here this morning for The Promised Neverland Episode 6, 311045. So, I guess we're in November now? Or is it 3110? End of September? That makes more sense. In any case, Promised Neverland. Last time, we had the discussion between Ray and Norman. Some interesting stuff with Ray and Mama. Not much else. Before we get into this, I want to address the comment section on the last video in general, because it was a pretty interesting one, and I sort of expected this going in after my experiences with other shows that I've disliked that have been broadly popular, specifically Goblin Slayer. The comment section on episode 5 was interesting to me because there were two sort of broad categories of comments. And it was about 60-40, maybe 70-30. The broad majority of comments were positive toward the video and relatively negative toward the episode. A lot of people expressing their disappointment in the adaptation and specifically citing the removal of the characters' inner monologues from the manga, which caused a lot of that 1 10-minute scene that I talked about at length to be weird and not make much sense, and have a lot of the characters sitting there without understanding what they're expressing or what they're trying to show, which was my biggest gripe with the episode, besides the terrible pendulum scene. So it was about 60% or 70% of the comments were saying, like, yeah, you should really read the manga because this adaptation is looking like it's going downhill. And then the other 30 or 40% of the comments were angry, were upset because I didn't like the episode. And a lot of them did something that was also done on the Goblin Slayer videos in the comment sections there, and I find it really interesting. They assume that I have some grudge against the episode, or I'm looking for things to dislike about it from moment one, and that's just patently false. I started disliking it from moment one, because moment one is a camera set in a swinging pendulum with a serious scene. It's terribly tone deaf, and I had to really think about why this scene was so jarring to me and so strange. And so I shared the scene. I cut it and I made a webm of it the first 10 seconds of the episode, and I shared it with a bunch of people, just asking this scene didn't affect me in the way it was intended to by the director. Obviously they're trying to create this tense moment, and I burst out laughing. That was my initial response to it, was bursting out laughing. And the responses to it were really interesting, because a bunch of people were like, yeah, that seems really weird in a serious scene. That seems like tone-deaf directing. And then there was one person who said, oh, I think that's pretty great. And then later, as the conversation progressed, this person was lurking and realized, wait, this wasn't done as a joke? Oh shit, that's hilarious. Which is exactly how I felt about it. And they managed to get me to see what was going on here by referencing a scene that appears in Haruhi Suzumiya's Endless Eight, where the camera similarly follows a clock. It's following an analog clock hand, and the camera is ticking around the clock. But that scene is steeped in absurdity and is not exactly funny, but it's also not trying to be super serious. It's we're in a time loop and shit's all crazy. Whereas the pendulum scene was goofy. It was goofy is what it was. And I found it to be goofy. And that really colored my expectations for the rest of the episode. I went back and I watched the whole episode again, just trying to figure out what I found so off about it. And a lot of it is the characters sitting around making faces. And apparently there should be inner monologue there, and I'm not sure if I'll read the manga. If I do, I'll find the time to do it, and find the time to do a big catch-up on it. It might be worthwhile. It might not. It doesn't really matter. But the thing that I want to address is this idea that I would come into a show wanting it to be bad, And the only time that I've done this is with SAO, because SAO went straight off a cliff and turned real trashy real fast, and then it got better from being trashy and became just boring, and that was a no-go for me. Like, I couldn't even make fun of it at a certain point, and so there was no joy to be found in it. But I don't go into Promised Neverland expecting it to be bad. That's why I was disappointed in it. I go in expecting it to be good, like, really good. Like, people are hailing it as one of the top anime of the season, and I don't see it. So I'm expressing that opinion. And if you're coming here for validation of your opinions, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in providing that. I'm going to tell you what I feel about an episode. I'm going to be honest about that, period. I'm not going to do a hype man routine because I don't see the value in that. I don't see the value in confirming your opinions about a show. I see the value in watching it and then telling you what I feel and then trying to figure out what in the episode made me feel that way. So if I go in and I watch an episode and it makes me feel great or really engaged or really interested, I'm going to go through it and I'm going to look for the things that made me feel that way. If I go into an episode and I find it boring and trite and poorly directed, I'm going to go through it and look for the things that made me feel that way. Because I think that's useful. I think it's actually valuable for me to try and, like, say, this is what I thought about it. Let's go through it and figure out why I thought that about it. What in this piece of work made me feel the way that I felt, good or bad. And if you're gonna take that as, like, I'm coming into the show with vitriol, or I'm coming into the show looking for things to hate, then you're a fool and I can't help you, and you probably should just dislike and unsubscribe and not watch this video. Or any of my videos. Because that's not what these are for. These are for me as much as for you, and I value my honesty. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. So, that was an interesting ramble, I guess. The whole point is just, look, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and if I don't like something, I don't like it, and I'm going to try and figure out why, and I'm going to try to express that as clearly as I can. And if you take that as me going in looking for things to hate, all right, fine. There's nothing I can do about that except try to be as clear and concise in explaining what I felt and why I felt it as possible. So, you disagree, that's good. Disagreement is great because I'm just one dude who watches anime. I'm not an authority. I'm just a guy who watches anime and happens to have a camera and a microphone. If one person called me pretentious. My pretentiousness is oozing from the screen. Really? Because I'm just watching the show and expressing what I feel about it. If that's pretentious, sorry, but I'm not sorry. All right. I've said more than enough. I'll put a timestamp so that you can skip to where the reaction actually starts if you don't care about any of this stuff, which is totally fine. You don't have to care about my opinion. Oh, and that's another thing. You don't have to care about my opinion or, like, be convinced by it. I'm not trying to convince you that the show is bad. If anything, I hope that you enjoy it more than I do, because then you get more joy out of it. Like, I'm generally a utilitarian, and I'm of the opinion that a work of art producing joy is a good thing. If it produces joy for you, that's great. If it doesn't produce joy for me, fine. Sucks for me. Doesn't change the way you feel about a show, or at least it shouldn't. And if it does, then you need to figure out what your opinions are based on. Because if they're just based on, I like this, and you can't back that up with anything, and my shitty commentary is enough to change your opinion, then you've got a weak fucking opinion. So, if you like it, find what you like about it, stand behind it, and argue it with me in the comment section. But don't call me a pretentious ass for saying what I dislike about it or like about it, because I'm just going to be honest about what I feel about the show. And that doesn't make my opinion of it any more valid than yours. The fact that I have a camera and a microphone doesn't make my opinions valid. They're just opinions, formed on the spur of the moment, with almost no extra thought put into them. I'm not an authority. Don't take my word as anything besides one dude watching anime. Like, come on. This should be pretty obvious, but I guess people think that I'm trying to convince them of something. I'm not. I'm trying to explain to them why I feel the way that I feel. There's a difference. Anyway, again, bunch of stuff doesn't really matter, but I had to get it off my chest. So, thanks for listening if you did. Episode 6. We'll see where we go from here. I hope that it's better than the last episode. I hope that there's more to like here, because then I'll talk about the things that I like about it. Shill stuff. If you like this video, go ahead and do that. If you hate it, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. I'm expecting that. It's totally fine. Criticism is useful. If you are going to do that, go ahead and leave a comment letting me know why you disliked it. Then I can figure out where I can improve. And if you dislike it because you disagree with it, all right then. If you're not subbed and you want more videos like this, I make them, so you might want to do that. And if you are subbed and you're not getting my videos, perhaps the bell can help you, maybe if YouTube decides to cooperate. If you really like this content or want to support this guy and his way of doing things, you can throw me a couple of bucks on patreon.com/Teeaboo, get access to the Discord, ability to vote in polls, and early access to a bunch of my content. Thank you, by the way, to all of you who are patrons of me. You are amazing. And Patreon's doing really well. Like, a lot better than expected. We just crossed my final goal, and I expected that to take, like, a year or more. And it's been 4 months and a few days. Also, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Alright, TPN. There will be multiple versions of this video. You can find links to the picture-in-picture versions in the description on BitChute and Mecha. BitChute will be in toaster quality, Mecha will be in pretty great quality, but you might have to download it. And then, of course, there will be the timer-based version on YouTube with a beep-beep timer that will go boop, 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 beep, and on the beep and the green light, that's the same frame that the video starts playing on my screen. And I am using Crunchyroll this morning, so that's the version. It's been cooperating with me recently, so that's nice. Thank you, Crunchyroll. Please continue not lagging. It's really nice of you. Okay, 0 seconds. Beep-beep timer goes here. Oh, right, there was the cliffhanger with the door opening, and it's Dawn and Gilda. It's probably gonna be somebody who's not Mama. That's my guess, is that it's all a misdirect. Because if it is Mama or Sister Crone, that's gonna be real bad. Spooky, scary door opening. Who's behind the door? It's a fucking little kid. God damn it, Phil. What are you guys doing in here? Oh, you know, reading some books. Mm-hmm. Three is hard as fuck. Ooh, I like that shot. Hmm? Don, what are you doing? What'd you steal? Oh, shit. Bro. Bro, you have goofed. Hmm. He could also be somebody who's well and long dead. Oh? Oh. It's a hidden message in the books? Hmm. Are they all different? Ah. Morse code? Yay! Ray doesn't seem surprised by this. He's the biggest reader among them, so has he already noticed it? Oh, hey, a trap door. Don't light the light. So will they find out on their own the truth about the demons and stuff? Oh, don't light the... Oh, okay. Hmm. I like this shot. I like this a lot. Hmm. What'd you find, Don? Oh, okay, they're just going into spooky, scary basement land. Ooh, more books. Okay. And interesting, they're like tchotchkes, like little dolls and stuff. Oh, shit! Bunny. Little bunny. Is Mama keeping the like favorite toys? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, the radio? Said an adventure book and a mythology book? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Don's figuring it out. That's bad, though. Yeah. Unpredictable element. Oh, shit. That's not Phil. The tension building here is really good. Uh-oh. Big yikes. Oh, man. Oh, man. She's not gonna find anything. Clock ticking? Holy shit. How'd they get the key out there? Oh, fuck. Super dangerous. Yeah. Or if she had checked your locations or anything. Distrust. Yep. I like these spooked eyes. Oh boy. Yeah, not telling them was a bad idea. And he's broken. I think Don's voice actor's performance was pretty mediocre there. It didn't fit the animation. Better. Here, let me write that down so that I can explain it later. 1430-ish. Ray? This is cool. They're all getting on the same page. No light in his lantern? Hmm. Yeah, that was some pretty straightforward symbolism. Emma with the lantern, no one else with one. Wait, where did Ray's lantern go? Oh. What conclusion did you come to? I like this shot. It feels like we're watching them as a voyeur. Okay, so we're doing a skip the actual explanation of the plan thing. Never a fan of that trope, but okay. I'm used to it at this point. Alright, I did not like that cut. Or was that 1750? Suspicious? What was in there, I wonder? Okay. Okay then. Hmm. 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 So is he playing that he's okay with going to his death? Or do they have some oh, fuck! Ah! Hello, sister. Fuck. So those scenes from that perspective. Perfect. Well executed. More dangerous as an ally than an enemy. Nice. Okay. This episode was a lot better for me than the last one. There were still a few things that stood out to me, but not nearly enough to like cause me to be bored. I definitely wasn't bored during this episode, and that's a good thing. I was engaged. Well done. Let's talk about, just because I've got them written down, let's talk about two things that I didn't really like. So at 14:30-ish, there's this scene where Don's okay, let's separate Don's voice actor from Don's character model, right? The animation for this scene is Don like screaming. Super powerful animation here. Yeah. Like screaming out his feelings, like the most impactful scene of Don. The music is all set for this. Everything's just right, except I don't feel like his voice actor sells it. Now, you could disagree with that. You could say that that's a perfect performance for this. I don't think there's enough like rage and sadness and sorrow and feeling betrayed in the voice actor's performance. He tried, and I think it's close, but I don't think it's there. I guess there's a good emphasis on Kazoku. And you can kind of like the way that the spittle comes off of Rei as he's screaming. You can almost hear that. So that's pretty good. But that performance feels more like it's here, where he's like not emoting as much, right? He's still very emotional, but more subdued. And has like broken down more. I think this part of the performance is a lot better than that part, which is where he sort of snaps and is screaming out his deepest feelings. I don't know. Like, going back and re-listening to it, I don't feel like it's as clashy as I thought it was on first viewing, but it still, I think, could have been retaken. That's such a tiny minor gripe, though. Take it as you will. 1750, there was a cut that I really don't like. And it's like a classic thing to cut from ominous to like joyous. There. Yeah, that's just jarring. We go from really quiet with really quiet music to kids screaming. Really jarring. Maybe intentional. I just don't like it. No, for things that I do like. Big standout moment was the books as like, oh, what do you call those things where you put it to your eye and you like flick through the pictures? Picture viewer toy? I don't know. Like a Viewmaster? Yeah, something like that. Stereoscope. Yeah, Viewmaster is the trademark name of this kind of stereoscope. So like a stereoscope where we're flicking different images in front of it. And we're doing that, we've got like a top-down shot of the desk with the 3 kids at it. And we're flicking out the background. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a really engaging shot. Let me see. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Did I go past it? I went past it. There we go. Yeah. With just this, what about these? Yeah. Harvest. And we're flicking through them. I really like this. Because it's a way to show us what they're seeing without like showing what they're seeing. It's like, it's almost shafty. It's nice. I like this. This is good. Yeah. Also, this whole idea of somebody on the outside potentially sending the messages, like a potential ally that they know nothing about, who's sending only tiny cryptic messages that haven't given them any like new information, except what might be contained in the adventure book and the mythology book. That's cool. I like that as a storytelling thing. It's interesting, and they can get weird stuff. Like, they could end up being triggered to escape by a book that arrives with a new Morse code on it that's like, fuck, shit's fucked. It's cool. There's a lot that can be done with this. And exploring who William Minerva is, how he knows about them, all that stuff from the perspective of these kids, that's really good. I like this thing with, and I felt like I saw this coming. I felt like it was well set up with Don and Gilda not being let in on the secret, on the deep truth of it, and then finding it out on their own, and totally justifiably snapping at the trio for not trusting them. It's totally reasonable. If our lives are on the line and you're trying to bait Don by saying like, yeah, we'll go and save Connie, that feels like a betrayal to him. The tension around the key is really interesting. I am curious as to how they got the key out. Like, because they used the key on the inner door, and then you would assume they took it with them. So they unlocked the inner door and then went and put the key outside on the floor so that one of the kids would find it. I don't know. It doesn't really need to be explicitly explained. It works as is, but whatever. The other thing that's interesting is like all these far away wide shots. I was saying that I thought they felt really good and spooky, and though we're looking at them from a voyeuristic perspective, turns out we were, and that was intended. So well done. You see, there's this scene where Norman turns to face the window, and I really liked it. I think it had some nice like understated symbolism to it. I think it was in this room. I haven't seen Norman turn around. The other thing that was really effective in this episode is that we're following two sort of plot lines. We're following the main crew and then Don and Gilda, and that lets them cut between the two to keep the action moving and keep things engaging, instead of having, like in the previous episode, an unbroken 10-minute scene all set in one room with an interaction between two characters. All right, where was that scene where Norman turns? I wish I had timestamped it. So it's definitely after the books. Is it after the fight? Fight. I thought it was before that. Another thing that was okay. So this doesn't bother me too much, but okay. There's some symbolism here to Ray appearing. We're focusing a lot on the lantern, so it's pretty like easy to notice that his lantern is unlit, and that, I mean, Emma here is the light that's sort of in the center of all of them. That's pretty straightforward, right? And then his lantern is unlit. But then it just kind of grinds my gears. Where's his lantern? He was just holding one. Where'd it go? Is it in his other hand now and hidden behind his body? Is it just not there? What? Then I think there's I guess there isn't another scene that would have the lantern appear in it. Oh, yeah, there he is. He's got his hands in his pockets. So his left hand is in his pocket, and his right hand is empty. Left hand in pocket. Right hand empty. What? Where'd the lantern go? Whee! Okay, where the hell is the... Also, this reveal of Sister Crone was dope sauce. Really liked it. Very effective. Definitely freaked me. This being somebody non-threatening. Okay. Saw that a mile away. Ah, here it is. Yeah, okay. So we go into dynamic camera using the CG backgrounds. So we just zoom in on his face. Or we just slide his, yeah, I guess we just slide his cell over. And then use the CG camera on the backgrounds to move over like this. Then we center on this frame. I like this shot. It's not super technically impressive or anything like that, but it works, and using the reflection with the bars over it, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. You know, mild and pretty good symbolism with the bars in the window, and yes, this is a prison and all that jazz. A lot more creative direction in this episode than in the last one. And to be fair, like, they tried in the last one. They tried, but they were stuck with a 10-minute scene, unbroken scene of two characters talking in a room. And there's only so much you can do with that. thing with the key. There was some good spooky tension. With will Don and Gilda be found by Mama in the place? They get lucky. Oh yeah, I love these eyes. Particularly Don's. Looks almost unlike himself, you know? Really enraged and freaking out. Where's the first punch? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that's got some weight to it. I don't have frame-by-frame capabilities because I'm watching on a Crunchyroll, but I'll do my best. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's got a good impact, and like, we jitter the camera a bit. It's really nice. Yeah. You feel Don's rage. It's really good. And you also feel this sense that, like, Don is a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger than these other two boys. So, if he wants to beat the shit out of them, he probably could. And he can't hit Emma. And doesn't give a shitty reason for it, like, I won't hit you because you're a girl. No, it's because she's Emma. She's the bomb diggity. You can't hate Emma. And then he breaks down. I'm not really mad at them. And I kind of like this whole sort of wrapping up this kind of third act tension type stuff, with everyone apologizing and stuff. Of course, they have to kind of push Rei to apologize, which is playing into the whole, like, maybe he's still villainous aspect of stuff, and I think that works. I think that's pretty effective. Yeah, and then this scene where we're behind the bushes definitely feels like we're from the perspective of a hunter or somebody watching them. And while it's not like a specific reveal where, you know, the camera turns around and shows Sister Crone in the bushes or anything like that, the way she appears later definitely plays into that. I have to wonder what these, like, golden objects in here are. And we're supposed to be wondering about them. That's why they're not really shown and just blurry. But they're shown enough of them that we can figure out what, like, later when we see them in full, we'll be like, oh, those are the things that Rei had under his bed, which is good. Rei playing it cool with Mama, and this really interests me. Mama, like, lets Rei know that his ship out will be in January, and there's the possibility that she's playing him like there will be a regular shipment before that. Like she suspects that he's working with them, but I don't see an indication of that at this point. But it makes me wonder what's going on here. Like, Rei's response to "you're getting shipped out in January" is to smile. Like, oh, okay, is he playing that he's going willingly to his death, and Mama buys that? Or do they have some kind of special deal where him being shipped out means something different? Or what? I'm confused by this, but in a way that's like, there's something to be explained here, and I trust that it probably will be. Okay. So, I hope I have explained to your satisfaction what I felt about this episode. I think it was a lot better than the last one. Not like a 10 out of 10, for sure, but pretty darn good. Good time. Not a waste of time. Fun. Alright, I'm going to wrap it up. I've been Teeaboo. This has been TPN, episode 6. I hope you've enjoyed it as much or more than I did, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.